I have been informed that my announcement has been deemed disrespectful.
Listen up, Dwayne, you bald fraud!
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the greatest of all time!
Seth Rollins, I'm coming for you, boy. And I'm coming hard.
I am a visionary! I am a revolutionary!
The never seen 17!
Look at you now, boy! Ah. Look at you now! 4 letters, 1 word.
Last real champion, John Cena!
What is up, everybody? We are back with another episode of Rasslin, Ron, and Mike. We're doing a live one. We haven't had a live one in quite a bit, so we're here. You know, we're talking Elimination Chamber.
Yes, sir. I'm trying to figure out the talk tick right now.
Yeah, so bear with us. We are trying to go live on TikTok. So if you want to tune in to watch on TikTok, you can. Bear with us because it's it's not that he doesn't know how to do it. It's a little complicated on TikTok. So
It's a little okay. I'm going to end this slide, but we are starting our podcast today. Ryan, how in the heck are you, man?
I'm doing good. It's feeling good. It's Elimination Chambers fast approaching on Saturday.
Yeah.
And then pretty much like right after it's like head on into WrestleMania season. But I feel like we're going to see more of what the WrestleMania card will look like after Saturday.
Right.
Because I know we already have like some matches, but it's like I feel like after Saturday we'll have more of a real sense of what WrestleMania is going to look like.
All right.
In April.
Yes. All right. Now we are officially live on TikTok.
Yes.
Officially live on TikTok.
What is up, TikTok?
Yes. And so we are fast approaching the Elimination Chamber, but it's WrestleMania season, but does it really feel like WrestleMania season?
No, it doesn't. The only real WrestleMania season hype I've got was the first promo with Punk and Roman after he won the Rumble.
And I kind of knew.
That felt like peak like WrestleMania build, and then we haven't really had anything since then. But it makes sense because we know Roman's situation, he's part-time. And it was one of those things like, are we not going to know his decision until like the week of?
Right.
But then once he was advertised, I'm like, okay. I was like, well, at least they're doing it like right after the Rumble and not making us wait until like the week of. Because I know some of us thought, like, when is he going to make his decision? When are we going to actually hear from him?
Right.
And they had a segment, and man, that segment was that was probably Roman's best promo of his career.
Most definitely, that was Roman's best promo of his career. We talked about this on
the
podcast.
But again, it also, you got to give credit to CM Punk because he truly is the best in the world, and he truly does bring out the best in his opponent, whoever he's with.
Whatever you could say, if CM Punk is washed in the ring, which I don't think he is.
No, he definitely isn't. But he makes up for it on the mic, too.
But the man is still the best in the ring. Now that John Cena's retired, he is the best in the ring in terms of the microphone.
Yeah, like we've said it in prior podcasts. If you're in a promo battle with John Cena and you mess up, he'll call you out for it.
Right.
Now it's the same thing with CM Punk. He's gonna do the same thing. He'll call you out on it because I'm pretty sure Punk is probably one of the few people who's allowed to kind of say whatever. Of course, probably have like some bullet points they got to hit.
Right.
But it's like I wouldn't be surprised if Punk is one of the few guys where they're like, yeah, you can say what you want. Like I don't really think he's limited to whatever the script is.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so that was pretty much the peak of WWE television leading up to the Chamber. Ever since then, we have had boring television, especially Monday Night Raw this past week.
Yeah,
it's so boring.
And you would think, especially with it being a tribute to AJ Styles, you thought like, oh, maybe they're going to do something because, they usually go all out for like any sort of tribute shows or like anniversary shows. But it felt real dull. Like I watched it, I'm like, dude, I wanted to fall asleep. I was like, dude, this is boring. It didn't really pick up until AJ's segment.
Right.
Which is where we got a real curveball. We got real Undertaker pulled a fast one on all of us.
For a second there, I thought we were going to get Undertaker and AJ Styles in the ring again.
But like with the crowd, You know,
Right.
because they wrestled during COVID at the Boneyard match, which was no crowd. But it was like you and I have unfinished business, and everyone was like, "Oh!" And then he's like,
Exactly.
"Oh," and then he gets announced for the Hall of Fame. So I guess I don't know. I guess is Undertaker the new guy in terms of inducting people in the Hall of Fame or announcing they're going into the Hall of Fame?
It
Because
looks
he
like
announced Stephanie McMahon.
well, him and Shawn Michaels announced Triple H last year, and
Yeah.
then he announced Stephanie McMahon.
And now we announced AJ, so it makes me
Basically,
wonder if is that like Undertaker's role now?
yeah. Basically, Undertaker is like the ambassador of WWE.
I mean, hey, I know the man's still retired, but that is still the most respected man in the locker room, and he always was, probably always will be until
Yeah.
the day he's gone. Like if you get the respect from the Undertaker, you know you're doing something right
Right.
because I guarantee it is not easy to get the Undertaker's respect.
Definitely not easy to get his respect, and but I'm sure. I mean, look, Undertaker's not active in the ring anymore, but it still comes. He's in order to get his respect, still you still have to earn
Yeah,
it.
and it's still nice to see the Undertaker around. It's still nice to see him, being like an on-screen presence, even if it's just like, announcing someone in the hall or doing like what he did at WrestleMania 40, doing like the big pop, the big shock, and then
Hmm.
hitting the choke slam. So it's still nice to see that the Undertaker is actively involved with the product.
Right.
And so,
Yeah.
anyway, moving on.
Again, I want to thank everyone that's tuning into TikTok for our Elimination Chamber predictions podcast. Like I said, the Elimination Chamber is the road to WrestleMania, but this road to WrestleMania is felt
Yeah,
so
and
flat.
and one thing not to go too much off, but still related to Elimination Chamber. Like last year, Elimination Chamber for me was arguably the PLE of the year last year.
Yeah,
Elimination
absolutely.
Chamber. I felt like that was a stellar show from top to bottom, and so not that I'm trying to put like too many expectations on Elimination Chamber, but it's like I have a lot of high hopes for Elimination Chamber this year just based off of last year's show.
I have a theory when it comes to WWE. This theory is I think it's kind of tested, proven to be right.
I think yeah, I think I know where you're going with this.
When the build up to a card feels feels flat, feels boring, usually the PLE makes up for it. Usually.
And we've seen that too with like some of like the B C level shows.
Then when you have a card that's really hyped and everyone's
It's
excited about it, it tanks.
like WrestlePalooza.
Right, exactly.
Like WrestlePalooza, they hyped it. Oh, it's the first PLE, on ESPN, and then it ended up being like, a flop of a show. And the fact that the best match from that show was a mixed tag match.
Yeah, yeah,
But
exactly.
yeah, no, and I think it does ring true because you have all these shows because you have way more shows now than probably ever before
Right.
in terms of PLE, and they're doing a lot more natural. Like they just announced, I think this past week that we're gonna have our first ever PLE in Italy. Clash in Italy,
Yeah,
and
coming up.
another theory that I have too that kind of goes hand in hand with that. They seem to step up when it comes to the international shows.
They do. I feel like that's
Some of them fall a little flat, but a lot of these international shows feel like really big compared to some of these other shows.
yeah, they definitely feel flat in terms of just because I feel like the when WWE goes international now, they kind of make it more of a big deal than running a show in the United
Yeah,
States.
like one show I really liked was Clash in Paris. I thought
Right.
that was a great show.
Yeah. But also look like when they go to like international, like Clash of Paris, look at the entrance set that they build.
That's what I'm saying is like they need to. I miss the days of when Raw and SmackDown had a unique set. Like SmackDown had the giant fist,
Right.
and then Raw had like the
The
cool,
big
unique
Titantron.
looking state. Yeah, I miss the days where we have that, and it's. I'd say the same thing with like the Titantrons. Now it's just their name on the screen.
Right.
Where before it's like, oh, it used to be like videos of like them in matches or whatever it was. So.
Yeah, but WWE definitely prioritizes international shows now. And it kind of makes shows that are in the United States feel less than now.
Yeah, and especially when you have the big four, the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series.
But I will say that the WWE audience lately has felt kind of flat.
They have, especially this past Monday. Like, AJ Styles like literally grew up 45 minutes away, and he didn't really get as loud of a pop as I thought he would. I mean, he got a pop, but it was not a loud pop. And
Right.
then like, they showed Abyss, and I know a lot of people may not know who Abyss. I know who Abyss is, and I never really
Right.
watched TNA, but it's like I know who Abyss is.
Right.
I got a pop. I like he got a
Yeah.
pop out of me.
It's actually the first time you've ever seen the Monster Abyss on television.
Yeah, of course. He for those that don't know, he is one of the producers for WWE, but we haven't actually seen his character
Yeah.
on WWE television. And so when I saw him, I was like, oh, like I got a pop. I popped, and then
Right.
the crowd they didn't really give him a reaction.
Yeah. Then we also saw Frankie Kazarian.
Who didn't really get much of what, but it's kind of understandable because he's more of like a
He's a TNA
TNA guy.
Exactly.
So, but even then, no, some of these other guys they showed, like they showed Gallows and Anderson, they didn't really get a pop.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
One guy I was surprised they didn't show was Kurt Angle.
I know that's what I was, especially because Kurt Angle has a history
Maybe he just
with
couldn't
with
make it.
AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Somebody if he wasn't in AEW, Samoa Joe totally would
Samoa
have been
Joe
there.
for sure.
Samoa Joe totally would have been there if he wasn't contracted to AEW.
Right.
Like
Exactly.
many people argue that Samoa Joe should be the one inducting AJ Styles into the Hall of Fame.
Definitely because Samoa Joe not only feuded with AJ Styles and TNA and had, they were pretty much like the two pillars of TNA at a certain point, but also they feuded in WWE as
And
well.
and I would argue that was one of Samoa Joe's better feuds in his WWE
Well,
tenure.
good old girl Wendy.
Yeah. Oh, Wendy. And then all the memes that came out of it. But yeah, no, so they have history not just in TNA but in WWE. So like if it wasn't for him being contracted, to AEW, Samoa Joe totally would have been there. And I could have seen him being the one inducting AJ
Right.
Styles. Some people are saying Kurt Angle should induct him.
Right.
But reports are saying that WWE wants John Cena to induct him, which makes total sense because that was arguably AJ Styles' best feud in his 10-year run in WWE.
Absolutely. Now I know you felt kind of maybe a slap in the face that they're going to put AJ Styles in the Hall of Fame before John Cena.
Yeah, but the more I look at it, maybe it's one of those things like maybe John Cena himself, maybe he doesn't want it yet. Maybe he just wants to, like let it sit or whatever. But also, I feel like they're more putting AJ in it now to kind of make sure he doesn't go elsewhere, because you have the rumors of the fans being like, oh, he's gonna go to AEW. And so not to say that WWE, this is the reason they did it, but part of me thinks like maybe they put him in the Hall of Fame to stop him from going anywhere at least for a while.
I mean, look, you can't second guess WWE, or you can't put it behind them that they would do something like this because I think they would. Absolutely, WWE would.
But also something, and this is not a slack knock on WWE because this is something AJ Styles himself said in a tweet a couple years ago. Because TNA was going to put him in their Hall of Fame. He says no, I don't want to go in any Hall of Fame while I'm still an active wrestler. It's my choice. And so the fact that he's going into the Hall of Fame really makes me think, yeah, he's done. He is done.
Yeah.
Because he has said many times, I don't want to go in any Hall of Fame while I'm still active.
True. We've seen that with Rey Mysterio. We've seen that with a couple other guys as well.
Yeah, and there were there, and even Kurt Angle, he got inducted, and he came back and still wrestled. That another thing that I had heard that he told Carl Anderson that his neck's hurting pretty bad.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know how true that report is, but the fact that AJ Styles mentioned that, so maybe he really is done. And I know another thing I noticed in his promo from Monday, which says, "I've done almost everything in my career. There's one thing I haven't been able to do: be a full-time father."
Yeah, definitely. Altogether, WWE did a pretty good job at putting together this ceremony for AJ Styles. Very much in like the same retrospect as they did for Ric Flair way back when they had pretty much the entire roster come out to honor Ric Flair, even though Ric Flair fucked it up and went to TNA. WWE did a pretty good job then. They did a good job now honoring AJ Styles. And yeah, he'll be in the Hall of Fame. And whether or not it is to kind of prevent him to go into AEW,
That remains to be seen because we still don't know For sure, because we know they were discussing a potential contract, but they couldn't agree. So it makes you wonder. Maybe I don't know how if it's true or not. I think maybe AJ's on a Legends deal now,
Possibly.
or maybe he did something similar to Cena and he signed a deal to be like an ambassador or coach or something. Because
Yeah.
he has stated multiple times he wants to get him. He wants to stay involved in wrestling or in WWE in whatever capacity, whether it's a manager, a coach, trainer.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe AJ did sign a contract, but not to be like an active performer.
Right. Who
So,
knows?
but anyway, yeah. So we also thank you, AJ Styles, for pun intended, a phenomenal career. You really are the phenomenal one. Um, so kudos to AJ Styles on a tremendous career. Congrats to him for getting inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. I think now we can move on to Elimination Chamber.
Well, yeah, we kind of comprised our top 5 lists
Yeah.
of our favorite elimination chambers.
Yeah.
Some of them are the same, some of them are a little bit different.
Very similar lists, but we have a couple that are different. That's why I like doing these lists because it kind of sees like
Yeah.
what we grew up with and like how our tastes are very similar but also very different.
Yeah.
Which I think is great, especially for the podcast because it's like like these are our lists. Like we're not compromising with each other. It's like what do you want to put? No. This is my list and this is your list.
Right, right. So before I get started on mine, I want to give an honorable mention. It's not technically an elimination chamber match because in 2006 we had an elimination chamber match for the WWE Championship. John Cena retains the WWE Championship. It is at New Year's Revolution. Cena retains in a hard-fought battle. Moments later, Vince McMahon comes out, announces to the world and everybody in the arena and watching around the world that Edge is cashing in.
The Edge cashing in.
Yep, the inaugural Money in the Bank, which he had won at WrestleMania 21 the year prior. And so Edge cashes in on John Cena. Cena had basically held the title for as long as Edge had held the briefcase. And that was the first time we saw Cena lose the WWE Championship.
And that's also when Edge got the nickname, the Ultimate Opportunist.
Yeah.
That's where that nickname came to be. Mm-hmm. So
honorable mention, it wasn't an Elimination Chamber match, but it happened right after.
Right after an Elimination Chamber match.
Yes. Mm-hmm. All right, but you can go ahead.
So I don't know if you want to go in particular. I don't know if you want to go 5-1 or 1-5.
You can go 5-1.
So my number 5 for my top Elimination Chamber matches, I actually have the 2017 WWE Championship Elimination Chamber that saw Bray Wyatt win his first WWE Championship, and I thought that was a very stellar match. It had a pretty good lineup because you had the defending champion John Cena, you had AJ Styles, Bray Wyatt. I forget who else was in it, but I thought it was a very solid match. I thought it was one of the better Elimination Chamber matches of like the later years.
Yeah.
But also I think the reason I have it at my number 5 too is because it was a feel good moment for Bray Wyatt, and you could see the fans loved it. They were happy with it. And I think it was definitely the right winner, the right choice won. So I think that's also why it's in my top 5 because it's like that was a very symbolic moment and turning point in the career of Bray Wyatt.
Something notable about that is that was the last time we had saw John Cena as WWE champion before the retirement run.
Yeah, and an interesting backstage note: John Cena is the one that pitched for Bray Wyatt to win that match.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know what? I'll just go ahead and say it. That's on my list. I think that's on. You can go back into what I sent you there. That might be number 4 or number 5. Let's see here.
You had it at your number 3.
There you go.
You had it at your number 3.
But that's my number 3. And I'll just go ahead and say it because we're on the subject here. That was actually the first year that they had changed the Elimination Chamber.
That's right, because it was a whole new layout, a whole new structure. Because before it was like pure like
steel,
and this one is like they had the pods, but this was more like
it was more giving for the wrestlers.
And I think this was also because I don't know if it was ever like a thing. But and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the Elimination Chamber matches, you used to be able to eliminate opponents outside the ring, right?
I don't know. I don't think
But
so.
yeah,
Maybe. Maybe. Yeah.
I could have sworn I've seen that happen before. So I don't know if it changed. And again, correct me if I'm wrong. 'Cause I may not be sure, but I could have sworn remembering seeing where like you could actually pin an opponent outside the ring and it would still count as an elimination.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it changed in 2017 or even changed earlier than that, but I definitely do remember, you know, that. But again, maybe I'm wrong, but.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure either. I don't think we've seen eliminations outside the ring. Or maybe we have. I'm not quite sure. But anyways, what's next on your list?
So my number four is I actually have No Way Out 2009, the World Heavyweight Championship Elimination Chamber, which was the one where we saw Edge enter as WWE Champion and then leave as World Heavyweight Champion. So this is the one where he lost the WWE Championship in in the
Oh,
chamber
okay, yeah.
prior, and then the main
Yeah.
event one was the World Heavyweight Championship with
Who did he
John
take
Cena.
out? Yeah.
He took out Kofi Kingston.
Oh, okay, got you.
He took out Kofi Kingston and he entered the chamber, and John Cena was the World Heavyweight Champion because this was following WrestleMania 25 because he won it.
Hmm.
And No Way Out, I think, at least then I think No Way Out was after the
Yeah. Yeah.
chamber.
No, no, sorry. No Way Out was the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. They just stopped calling it No Way Out.
Yeah,
They started calling it
elimination.
Elimination Chamber
And what was it after WrestleMania or before
before
WrestleMania at the time?
WrestleMania.
Okay, so this was
Yeah.
before the triple threat at WrestleMania then.
Hmm.
With,
Yeah.
but anyway, I put that there one because one that was also like a really quality match because you had Chris Jericho, Rey Mysterio, Edge, John Cena. I think Mike Knox was in it.
Oh
A
my God,
totally
Mike
random
Knox.
name.
Yeah.
And then I forget who else was in it. I mean, you had Kofi, but Edge took him out. But I have it because one that was very solid, and that was also a very aggressive, hard hitting
Yeah.
chamber, which is why I think I also have it up there. But also, I just for the fact that it's like, yes, Edge walked in to that show WWE champion, and then walked out World Heavyweight champion, and he participated in both chamber matches. Which I don't know if anybody else has participated in both chamber matches in the
Hmm.
same night. So.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. Um, Next on my list, I'm going to go with the 2019 Elimination Chamber men's. I'm not even sure if they were doing women's at the time, but
No, they
uh,
were doing women's. Yeah,
okay,
yeah. 2018 was the first women's
gotcha.
chamber.
Okay, so 2019, you had Daniel Bryan successfully retain the WWE Championship.
Oh, this is the Kofi Mania. Yeah, yeah, the Kofi Mania one, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Where Kofi earned his spot in the chamber, the crowd was behind him, and then it looked like he was gonna get it, and then Daniel Bryan won, and yeah,
Yep. Hmm.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
such a good spot. I forget who's in that match, but leading to the Kofi Mania moments at WrestleMania. So I put that one on there, because I think 2019 was definitely a horrible year for
But
WWE.
that was one of the
Yeah,
few like highlights, one of the few ups
right.
from that year. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't have it on my, but I do remember that was a very solid match, a very emotionally invested match because
Hmm.
the whole crowd was rooting for Kofi.
Right. Right.
Everybody was rooting for Kofi,
Hmm.
and I thought, 'cause I think I watched it. I thought he was gonna win. He almost did. He almost won it. He got like the very Daniel Bryan kicked out at like the famous 2.999,
Right. Right.
and then Daniel Bryan won. And I basically after that was like, okay, Kofi's not getting another shot because I think they was like, oh, if you win it, you champ. If you don't, that's
Right.
it for you.
Exactly.
So yeah. So
Yep. What's next on your list?
next on mine is I have on my number three is the 2023 United States Championship Elimination Chamber match,
Okay.
which I remember. I think this was the first Elimination Chamber match where a mid card title was being defended.
Yeah.
At least to my knowledge. But that was a great match because you had Austin Theory, Johnny Gargano, Seth Rollins. Forget who else was in that match, but that was like I remember watching that match. I was like I was into that match like from start to finish. Like
Hmm.
really solid match. Especially it was great to see guys that you don't get to see that often like really stand out on the stage like that and
Yeah.
especially for it being like for the United States Championship because you would think like wow they put in a mid card title on a line in an elimination chamber match like
Right.
it's be a world
Yeah.
title but no it delivered it was a great match we saw Austin Theory retain but it no I just remember that was a fun match to watch for me.
Definitely. So going into my number three.
What
Number
Mitch?
three.
Well, your number 3 was 2017,
Sorry,
the Bray Wyatt one.
yeah. I'm gonna change one of mine because I put 2010, but you know what? I'm thinking about this one now. This one had such a star-studded elimination chamber, and I feel like it's not really talked about. It's 2003 SummerSlam. You had Triple H, Goldberg, Chris Jericho, Kevin Nash, and I believe a young Randy Orton. Like,
Because I remember the first couple chambers were prior to No Way Out, or
yeah,
this was before they got their own show.
right, exactly. So this is the only elimination chamber at SummerSlam.
That's
So
that's crazy to me. Like
there might
after
have been
all
somebody
these
else,
years.
but I think Scott Steiner was in this one as well.
While you talk about, it, I'm gonna look up who was in that match.
Yeah, 2003 SummerSlam. Everyone thought Bill Goldberg, like the way I say it, like Bret Hart, Bill Goldberg. Everyone thought Goldberg was going to win this match, but Triple H ended up retaining this match. But I put it here because of just the star-studdedness that was in this match.
Was that the one where Triple H was wearing the biker shorts?
He was in the biker shorts, yes.
Which was the only time he wore them, and the fans were like, "Please don't wear those."
I think he had a groin injury, so that's why.
I think it had something to relate to that. Yeah.
Yep. So Triple H ended up retaining that title, but yeah,
Oh yeah, it says here Triple H, Chris Jericho, Goldberg, Kevin Nash, Randy Orton, and Shawn
and
Michaels.
Shawn Michaels. Okay, so a star-studded lineup in that. That was during a time where WCW was out of business, but WWE had pretty much a lot of those WCW guys under contract, and so they utilized that. And to think about like how star-studded that time was, it's unbelievable. And to have a young Randy Orton,
Yeah, because this was like rookie year Randy Orton.
yeah,
Yeah.
to be in that main event mix.
Because in 2003, he debuted in 2002. So he must have only been like 22, 23 years old.
Yeah, at the time it kind of didn't fit, but looking back, I mean, the guy's bona fide Hall of Famer, so it does fit.
Yeah, especially when you look at the names, be like, all the names, then you see Randy Orton, you're like, Randy Orton, like, why him?
Right.
Like, he was in the position where a lot of guys are now, with like the young guys. It's like, you have all like these veterans, like top guys, and then you have like this dude. Like, why are you throwing him in there?
Exactly.
But yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you're number one.
No, my number 2.
Or your number two.
My number 2, because you switched. But my number 2 is last year's men's elimination chamber match. Not just because of the result, but it's because I actually thought the in-ring action was pretty solid.
Right.
I thought like it was never, and especially because you had so many stories going. You had Punk and Seth feuding.
Yeah.
You had Punk, Cena's last chamber, Punk and Cena meeting again. Drew and Damien had their thing. So you basically had a bunch of different stories going into this chamber match, and it really made it unpredictable, especially the end when it came down to Punk and Cena. Because we talk about how a lot of matches are unpredictable. When it came down to, it made me question like of course I wanted Cena to win, but I was also thinking like
holy shit. Yeah.
Punk might win. Like I genuinely thought like, man, this is like really unpredictable. Like I like the way they booked it to make it look like, because they both had like the near falls, and it's just like who's gonna do it. And then you had it where Seth curb stomp Punk, and it was looking. I was like, die. And then that's when Cena locked him in the STF, and then of course Cena would win. But I put it because just the whole action in that match, the stories that were being told. You basically had like 4 different feuds happening in one match. The crowd was definitely into it. And then of course, Cena won, and then I think why I also have it in there is because of what happened after the match.
Of course. With one of the biggest,
was one of the biggest shocking moments in the history of WWE. John Cena turned heel.
Obviously.
You can say what you want about the post heel turn, the heel turn itself, but that moment, the heel turn itself, was shocking. Like to me, like of course, I know you grew up that, but to me, at least in my generation, this was my like Hogan joint being the third man.
Right.
This was my equivalent to that.
Now you were saying at the time that this was bigger. Even at the time, I was like, no, it's not. It's all about,
looking back, I will still say Hogan's heel turn was was
Well, it's massively
the
different.
better
Yeah.
turn. But I'm just saying in terms of like comparing the two, like to me that was like my Hogan being the third man.
I mean, look, in the moment, yes. The moment, yeah, absolutely. But like,
Like the heel turn itself was tremendously done. The turn itself.
right.
You can say what you want about the run afterwards, but I'm just talking about the moment itself, and I feel like that's also why I have the men's chamber at my number two, just because of what happened after. Because nobody thought in a million years that the biggest babyface in the company, or at least the biggest babyface of the last 20 years, was going to become a bad guy.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Well, yeah, that I mean, I have that as my number two as well because of the star-studdedness that was in that elimination chamber as well. I mean, look at it was John Cena's last elimination chamber. You had CM Punk, you had Seth Rollins, you had all these different guys that were a part of the new generation, sorry, the old generation, and then you had guys that kind of were, like a part of this newer generation, like a
Yeah.
McIntyre, like a Priest.
For oh, and then I know I didn't purposely forget to. I just forgot because you did. Logan Paul was in the match too, but I feel like the reason I kind of overshadowed it because he wasn't really feuding with any of the men that were in that chamber. So I
Right.
kind of feel like that's probably why that's honestly why I forgot to mention them.
Probably gonna look at that as like Randy Orton in the 2003 Elimination Chamber match, like Logan Paul, like in last year.
Like he was the outsider. Be like it's like all the other men have like
but
reasons
I
to be
mean,
in that match.
if we're kind of ranking them, I mean, Damian Priest is a step below Logan Paul.
Yeah, but also to his credit, Damian Priest
World
is a
champion.
former world champion, so you got to put
Well,
that.
Logan Paul's a future
too.
world champion. He's a future Hall of Famer, future WWE, like legend.
Anyways, move on. What? Well, yeah, you said you have your number two is the same, so I don't know if you were still gonna
Well,
explain
no,
more.
yeah, no, it's just that match is yeah, as good as an Elimination Chamber as you want it to be.
Yeah, and especially with how star-studded it was, it had that potential of like this match might not be that good. Like, yes, you have a great lineup, but it might not be that good. And then it ended up being really good,
Right.
which I think is one of the few instances where it's like you actually had a stacked chamber lineup, and it pretty much lived up to its hype.
Exactly. All right, number one, obviously.
We both have the same number one. Even when we were talking about what we say for this episode, we're like, yeah, this number one without a doubt. The 2002, the inaugural Elimination Chamber match from Survivor Series 2002 with Shawn Michaels winning was it the world title or WWE title?
The World Heavyweight
World
Championship.
Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah.
Because you had what? Shawn Michaels, Triple H, RVD,
Kane, Booker T,
Kane,
and
Booker
Jericho.
T, and Jericho. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Again,
that
star-studded lineup.
to this day, the first Elimination Chamber match to this day is still the best Elimination Chamber match.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the physicality that we saw in that match is, something that, those guys put their bodies on the line. RVD ended up crushing Triple H's throat. Yeah.
Doing the splash from the top of
Yeah,
the
the
pod.
top spot, yeah.
And I remember, I don't know if you saw like the comments they were saying. I think they included in the promo package if I remember correctly of like when they first laid their eyes on the chamber, they were like,
Yeah.
oh, like RVD's first thought was like what cool thing can I do?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, well, you know what I'm talking about, right? They all they all
They're
share
sitting-
like their
yeah.
first thoughts, like when they first saw
They're
the
all sitting
structure.
down inside Madison Square Garden and looking at it. Yeah. But an unbelievable match. That's the only time Shawn Michaels won the world title and is kind of, if you were to call it,
His second career, yeah,
yes.
his second, yeah,
That's the only time he wrestled from 2000. His second career was
was 2002
to 2010.
Yeah, because 2002, the SummerSlam Pride was that the Unsanctioned match
Yeah.
or the
Yeah.
SummerSlam, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
So this is
year
like,
run.
so this is like right after that then.
Yeah, right after that, and it's the only time Shawn Michaels won the world title. After that, he wasn't world champion.
That's crazy to think of like how great of a performer Shawn Michaels was. And we've said it before. Shawn Michaels had two wrestling primes. Two.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is like unheard of.
One in the 90s and then one in the 2000s.
Which is like unheard of.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
he really was the showstopper.
Yeah. Yeah, but an unbelievable first way to introduce the Elimination Chamber. And then here we are, all these years later. what is it now?
2026.
24 years later now?
And now you have women's chamber matches
Yeah.
too, which has been this 2018 was the first women's chamber, so that goes to show you how long of a way elimination chamber matches have come in WWE. Before took place on like bigger shows, now they have it's its own show, and it has
Right.
the woman. That's how big it is because it's like this match literally got a show named after it.
Exactly. But now we can get into the current Elimination Chamber PLE that is coming up this weekend.
This Saturday, yeah.
This Saturday. In Chicago.
In Chicago.
In Chicago.
Chi-Town. Oh, yes. I totally forgot to put my prediction for that match.
Well, we can start with the Women's Intercontinental Championship match. You have AJ Styles, I'm joking, AJ Lee challenging the man Becky Lynch.
Yeah. So you may not agree with this, but I actually see Becky retaining because I think they prolong this to WrestleMania.
I think so, too.
I think
see
they
that.
prolong it, but I don't think it's not going to be clean.
Yeah, I can see that.
I could see it do where she does. You know that pin she did in the triple threat with Lyra and Bailey?
Yeah.
I could see her doing. So I see Becky Lynch retaining, and then this prolongs their future WrestleMania, and then AJ Lee wins at WrestleMania.
Yeah, definitely. I think, if Punk is retaining, no doubt about it. So
Yeah, Punk is for sure retaining, and you know how it is with hometown crowds. You're not gonna have, if there's multiple from the same hometown, you're not gonna have both come out on top.
Yeah, and so I think you're kind of spot on here. I mean, it's definitely plausible that Becky Lynch retains the title, and then they can carry this on to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if AJ.
That was the next thing I was gonna say. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they give it to AJ Lee, but if they want to prolong it to WrestleMania, you have Becky retain here.
Right, exactly. And then I'm not quite sure what other match. So if there's the world title match between Punk and
I think
Balor.
it's the two chamber matches and the two title matches. That's it.
So it's just four matches. Man, Triple H.
But to be fair, the chamber matches are probably gonna go
Oh, they're gonna go a long time.
and there's a good chance that they're gonna be good.
And so you have the world title match between Punk and Balor. Obviously, everybody and their mom is thinking CM Punk is going to retain.
Yeah. I know there's some people that are like, oh, what if they do like the thing where Finn wins? I don't think Finn wins. I think he comes close, but I think this is where you start to see the inevitable Finn Balor face turn and from the Judgment Day.
I think Judgment Day come out, they try to help Finn, they end up scaring him.
They accidentally cost him, and then Finn gets mad, and I think that's when we finally see Finn break from the Judgment Day and become the babyface, and inevitably leads to him versus Dom for the IC title at WrestleMania.
Exactly.
That's where I think this is going, especially because they kind of teased that on Raw too, because they're like, "Where were you for my match?" And Finn's like, "No, I said in Ireland, I said no, I want to do this on my own.
Right.
This is my home. These are my people. I want to do it on my own.
Right.
And so it gives you the impression like, oh, it's at some point they're gonna get involved, and it's gonna be like Finn's gonna be like, I told you guys to stay back.
Yeah.
And that's where I see the rift happening, where Finn finally breaks free from the Judgment Day and goes back to being full babyface Finn Balor. And now that he finally has his goated theme song back.
Yeah, exactly.
They finally gave it back to him.
And I can see them bringing back the Demon for WrestleMania.
Oh, I totally see them bringing back the Demon. It makes sense because we haven't seen the Demon since WrestleMania 39.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's where I think this is headed. I definitely think Punk retains, but it's going to be due to Judgment Day interference.
Right, exactly. Then you have the women's not world title. You have the women's Elimination Chamber match.
Yeah, so this is a toss-up for me because I know probably as of right now, people think, okay, it's either Rhea or Tiffany. I don't really think anybody's questioning that. It's either Rhea or Tiffany. For me, I'm giving the edge to Tiffany. I know we've seen Tiffany versus Jade, but I'm looking at it like this. Rhea Ripley is still women's tag team champion with Io Sky. I don't see the Irresistible Forces winning the titles on SmackDown because I think inevitably this leads to a multi-woman match for the tag titles at WrestleMania.
I could absolutely see that.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Rhea wins. Yeah. Like, that's I wouldn't be surprised if Rhea wins, but I'm giving the edge to Tiffany just because of the fact that Rhea is tag team champion right now.
Right. Yeah, I think that's going to be the direction going into WrestleMania.
And another prediction I'm making is Charlotte turns heel by costing Alexa in the match.
Yep, exactly.
Because I think it's long overdue for either one of them to turn heel. But I think in this case, I think it makes more sense to turn Charlotte. I mean, you could turn Alexa. I wouldn't be surprised, but just given based off the fan reaction, I could see it being Charlotte. Plus, Charlotte is so much better as a heel.
Yeah,
she's like a natural heel.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
And I think it's only a matter of time before we get Alexa Charlotte in a match. And I feel like if we're gonna get it at WrestleMania, that's the way you do it. So I have Tiffany winning, and I have Charlotte Flair turning heel by costing Alexa.
I can definitely see that happening for sure. Yeah, and then
what is your prediction for the women's chamber?
I think Alexa too. That's what I'm banking on. I think Alexa.
Do you think Alexa wins?
Yeah, I think so. That makes sense.
It really does.
'Cause
I saw a post. I kid you not. I literally saw a post before you got over here that
Yeah.
says out of everybody in this match, they're like Alexa's the only logical choice. Here are the reasons why. I looked at it and I'm like, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
When you really look at it logistically, Alexa really is the only
I
choice.
think they want to be able to. She's a popular enough babyface. I think Tiffany Stratton. I mean, like you've already seen there, done that.
You had her last year. She had her
Yeah.
time last year. Alexa hasn't been a champion
Yeah.
since 2018. I think is the last time she won a world title.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's been fairly known that Alexa does not have much time left because she has reiterated that she wants to be a mom.
Yeah, and she's already a mom.
She's
so-
a mom, but like she wants to be there for her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, she's still young. She's not old.
Yeah.
But she's still young, but also she's getting to that age where it's like,
Right.
you have that risk of like, am I going to be the same? Is an injury is that going to be it? Like,
Right.
am I going to be able to come back from this injury? That's where I feel like she's at now. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, you know what? Let's give Alexa like one more, whether it's her last run or be like, maybe they're like, you know what? Give Alexa another title run.
Yeah.
Like I would not be surprised if Alexa does. That's what my heart, because she's my
Obviously, it
fave.
will be, yeah.
That's my girl. But so I totally see your perspective. It makes sense. I'm not
Because
disagreeing
we're not
with it.
getting we're not getting Bianca. That would be the logical.
I feel like that's where it would have been if Bianca did come. Although I have seen, I don't know how true this is. I have seen people say, "Oh, it's Bianca in the box." No, it's not. She just had surgery. She literally just had surgery.
Which, by the way, we kind of skipped over that.
Oh yeah, what's in the box? What's in the box? Who's in the box?
Right. Who's in the box?
Who?
Now, it's kind of silly because obviously if it's someone in the box, what are they going to be in there for 2 weeks with no food and water?
No.
Yeah.
There's probably nothing in the box. They probably won't actually
Yeah.
have anybody or anything in that box until they open the damn thing.
Now, a rumor has it that it could be a couple people out of the box.
Chris Jericho
Mm-hmm.
is one.
I'm going to predict a very spooky one.
Bianca, I know Bianca's been talked about. That one's picked up more steam as of late.
She just had
but
surgery.
it's not. That's what I'm saying. It's not her. I know it's not. I'm just saying in terms of like the fans. That's kind of one that's picked up. I know for a fact it's not her because she just had surgery. I'm just saying in terms of like recently, she's a name that's picked up just based off expectations of people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But you have Jericho. And you said you're a
Jericho.
spooky one. Who you?
I don't know if you guys are familiar with Danhausen.
Oh,
Coming off of an AEW.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh, that makes sense because isn't his contract?
Yes.
Didn't his contract come up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, rumored to be
I
going to
totally
WWE.
did not think. Oh my god! And now
Yeah.
that you say it, I totally see that.
Yeah.
And it would make sense for Danhausen to come out of that box. 'Cause
Very evil.
It fits his character.
Exactly.
It fits.
Obviously, Danhausen is very good friends with CM Punk.
Oh yeah, the history you have there, and then
Yeah.
and then he has I think he's friends with Cody too, isn't he?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
So probably on his way to WWE. Probably, I can't say for sure.
Probably sooner rather than later.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, now you say that. Now I see. I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And this is totally out of the ballpark. Don't me saying that. I'm saying this as a complete joke, just because you said Danhausen, the boogeyman.
The bookie man.
The boogeyman is going to get you.
The
No,
boogeyman.
I'm not. I'm saying this as a total joke. I'm just saying because you say creep. I'm like who creepier than the boogeyman?
But we'll see who's in the crate.
Yeah,
In the box.
because it's definitely somebody. It's not a thing. It's definitely somebody.
Yeah. It could be something. We'll see.
I don't know, but it could be like the thing, like you know how like back with Sting, where they were gonna reveal the Seth Rollins statue,
Yeah.
and then it was Sting
Yeah.
when they uncovered it. It could be a very similar
could be
thing to
something.
that. Who
Yeah.
knows?
But then you have your men's elimination chamber match. Who's in the men's again? You have
You
Randy.
have Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, Javon Evans, Jey Uso, Trick Willie, and L.A. Knight. Yeah.
TikTok. Who do you think is going to win the men's
And
elimination
I
chamber?
think things have changed recently, especially due to the recent injury to Bronson Reed on Raw, which is a legitimate injury,
Right.
Because he has a bicep tear, and I looked at the recovery. It says that's a 6 to 9 month recovery,
Right.
and so and I totally believe it. I think Bronson Reed was supposed to win that match. I think he
Yeah.
was supposed to, because when you look at this, there's only one heel in the match, Trick Williams.
yeah, there's only one
It's
heel.
all baby faces and then one heel. So, because usually you would have that balance of like, okay, you have like half are heels, half are faces, or you have like 4 baby faces, 2 whatever. You always have like that balance. But in this case, it's like you have 5 baby faces and a heel, which it should have been 2 because it should have been Bronson Reed. But also the whole vision is out right now. Seth Rollins is injured.
My God.
Bronson Reed's injured. Braun Breaker's
The
injured.
luck that the Vision has had was not being all in the hospital.
Yeah. I know it's crazy to think that that I don't think this is the vision that Paul Heyman envisioned.
Yeah.
Because right now all you have right now is Austin Theory and Logan Paul, and not to discredit either one. I know for once I'm not going off on Logan Paul, but it's like there's only so much the both of them can do.
Yeah.
In that feud, and
Yeah.
that's not their fault. That's
Exactly.
not their fault. There's only so. Because believe me, there were a lot of plans. I think we were supposed to get Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker at WrestleMania. That's probably more than likely off the table now.
Yeah.
Regarding injuries, Bronson Reed was probably going to be involved in a match. Whether because there were rumors that Austin Theory's a rat.
Yeah.
He's secretly working for Seth.
Well, who knows?
But also, who's the masked man? We still have no idea who this other masked man is.
Yeah.
And now it's making me wonder: is they going to have a payoff due to the injury? Are they going to rush it now because?
Or do they even
Bronson
forget
Reed's
about it
injured?
now?
Or are they just going to throw it out the window?
Yeah.
And basically be like, oh, Logan Paul and Austin Theory will help each other, but it's more like they're kind of gonna be similar to like when Kofi won the title. Like he'll still have his partners, but he's going to be like mostly a solo act.
Right. We'll see.
So it really makes you wonder where the direction goes for the Vision.
My prediction is obviously going to be Cody Rhodes.
My prediction:
Randy.
Randy.
Oh, interesting.
I have Randy, and I will tell you why. Because it was teased on SmackDown. Sammy and Cody got some beef now.
True.
Because Cody did call out Sammy. He's like, you haven't been able to get the job done. And that ticked off Sammy. So I wouldn't be surprised if either Sammy screws Cody or Drew screws Cody. Or we finally get the long-awaited Randy Orton heel turn. He takes out Cody and he beats Cody to win the chamber.
Interesting. You know what? That's definitely possible. But I can't see like a heel turn happening per se with either guy. I think if Cody doesn't win, he's obviously going to be in a match against Jacob Fatu.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Again, I see your point of why you're saying Cody. I'm not disagreeing with you in the slightest. I just, especially because they haven't really done anything with Randy. This is kind of a turn, and especially because Randy just recently says he wants at least one more world title run, at least.
Yeah,
Which in all honesty, the man deserves it.
he does.
I know his booking hasn't been what fans have wanted, but also he's at the point of his career where he doesn't need these wins. He's at the point of his career where he can put over the talent. It's not going to hurt his legacy.
Yeah.
It's not. He's a made man, bona fide Hall of Famer, without a doubt.
Right. But I think in the end, Triple H is going to book it safe and then have Cody win.
Which I could see happening, but I'm still sticking with Randy just because I feel like there's an interesting story to be told there. Because I also, and you've kind of agreed with me on this, I don't see Drew defending a singles match. It's going to be a multi-man match for the WWE Championship.
Could be.
And I could see it being Drew versus Randy versus Cody versus Jacob. I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that being the match at WrestleMania.
Fatal 4-way?
Yeah, I could see that.
I mean, I feel like that would be really intriguing as well if you had, a multi-man match for the WWE Championship.
Because think about it, we haven't had a multi-man match for the WWE Championship since WrestleMania 37. Mm-hmm. That was and look how great that match was. That was a banger of a match.
Right.
And that was a triple threat.
Right.
So I'm just saying, like, and just based off the story, and like, you have so many guys who are deserving of being, like, Jacob Fatu deserves to be in the world title picture.
Yeah.
Cody deserves to,
And
because
like,
he's
how
the
exciting
face.
is it if they have their, one-off matches, like, separately? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, so that's my pick. I'm going with Randy because I see a potential heel turn by either Randy or possibly Sammy taking out Cody.
It's all possible. It's all possible, man. But I can't see Sammy turn. I can't really see a heel turn happening per se. But a multi-man match, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I don't know how much time we have left, but there's something I want to go over brief because we found out on Raw that Brock Lesnar is issuing an open challenge at WrestleMania, and so I wanted to discuss like potential opponents that we could see entering the challenge.
One obviously is Oba
Femi.
Yeah.
Definitely, especially given that Brock eliminated Oba.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Another one that I have that you didn't really see, but I could see just based if they want to make a name, even if he loses. You potentially have Royce Keys. Mm-hmm. You even potentially have Sheamus. I think Sheamus would be an underrated pick.
Here's an idea. All these guys are out from the division, right? Mm-hmm. Seth Rollins, if he's available, but look, and it also makes sense. Who's coming out with Brock Lesnar right now?
Paul Heyman.
Who screwed over Seth Rollins?
Paul Heyman.
Right.
Or Braun Breaker, but with Paul Heyman that basically as the
right.
The Oracle. Yeah.
That would be a huge marquee WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
Would it be healthy for Seth Rollins to step in there with the Beast?
No.
But
also, to be fair, Seth has beaten Brock.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not once, but twice at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Even though I know he technically pinned Roman, but he still technically beat Brock twice at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. So you can build intrigue, left and right. I think if it's not Oba Femi, I could definitely see them pivoting to Seth Rollins.
Yeah, and another name which I don't know how likely this is because I see this more as SummerSlam, but I feel like I can't mention potential opponents without saying it. Gunther,
yeah,
especially because the path he's on. I mean, I hate Gunther forever, so screw Gunther. But I don't think you can discuss potential opponents for Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that's what I mean too with two heels. But I mean, and I don't see them turning Brock babyface. I don't see Gunther turning babyface like ever, if at all.
Right.
And then another one, I know people aren't going to like this. I don't see this happening, but I'm also saying it just based off what early report says. LA Knight.
Yeah, but then that would just be a squash, I think. Poor LA Knight. That would be burial.
Again, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I feel like just based off reports, I feel like he's someone that you could say is a potential opponent. So
could be.
Those are names I think. I don't know if you have anybody else.
I just said Seth Rollins, but I mean that's about it. With Femi, I mean, if it's not those two guys, who else? I just can't see it being marquee enough.
Yeah. I see Gunther facing Brock at SummerSlam because SummerSlam's in Minneapolis. Brock's from Minneapolis. I think Brock would have to be
somebody would have to be the babyface in that scenario.
I think just because of Minneapolis and their reaction, I think even if he isn't by definition a babyface, Brock will act like the babyface.
Yeah. And he's good at that.
Even if he isn't by definition a babyface, he'll act the part.
Right.
Because we've seen it before where you have like two baby faces, but then you have like, like for example, WrestleMania 18, Hulk Hogan was the heel, Rock was the face, and because the crowd reaction, they literally flipped roles mid-match.
Yep, exactly.
So that's why I say whether Brock is actually a babyface or not, but I could see him going into that match like playing the babyface.
Yeah.
Be like, maybe like this could be Brock's last, because it could be like, if I beat you, that's it, your career's over. Then you could do like maybe like the one night thing, or for this one feud, Brock's babyface for the feud.
Right.
Which I feel that's more realistic, having him be the babyface for the feud rather than a long term run as babyface.
Right.
Because I think the last long term babyface Brock we saw was the 2022-2023
Yeah.
Brock.
Yeah. That was before he turned on Cody.
Yeah, the Cowboy Brock.
Cowboy Brock,
Yeah. Where he had. That's when he had his best match with Roman Reigns, because they had dumpster fire matches.
Right.
And then you have them, and then if you're gonna relive the Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns feud, I guarantee you fans are gonna look immediately to the SummerSlam immediately, because that was literally their only good match against each other.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so that's what I see. But yeah, those are potential names I see entering the open challenge. I just find it very interesting that, they're having Brock do an open challenge. I wonder if they had to pivot things because of injuries, because I don't know if you saw the reports or rumors that Brock was going to take out somebody and enter the chamber, and I'm pretty sure the person he's going to take out is going to be Javon Evans.
Yeah, but I feel like
I don't think that's going to
they
happen
pivoted
now.
in the good direction.
Yeah,
but
I don't
now,
think it's going to happen now.
now it's just the lead up of, like, what do you do? Because Brock Lesnar is going to be on Monday Night Raw 5 times leading up to WrestleMania.
That's why people are saying, like, is this his retirement tour? But just without them saying it's his retirement tour.
Might be, yeah. Anything is all possible.
Yeah. So it does. I will say it does add intrigue, because then it's like Brock's gonna come out and everyone's gonna be like, "Who is it? Who is it? Who is it?" Because if they're smart, nobody answers the challenge until he's in the ring.
Right. Yeah.
Because they're saying, "Oh, I'll come out if somebody wants to come out and answer the open challenge before then." If they're smart and they want to do it right, don't have anybody answer the challenge until he's out there in the ring.
Until,
at
like,
WrestleMania.
what they had with Cody Rhodes. People knew it was going to be Cody, but they didn't know.
And then the thing, because I know it was more of like a joke, but last year you had Joe Hendry answer Randy's open challenge.
Right.
But it's like, I think Joe Hendry caused a lot of garbage. I didn't think it was going to be Joe Hendry answering the challenge.
Exactly.
I didn't think that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But all right, this was a good podcast today, guys. I want to thank you guys for tuning in on TikTok. Thank you guys for viewing, as always. Again, guys, like, subscribe, follow us on all of our social medias. We're on Spotify. Follow us there. We need to up our numbers. We're on YouTube. That's how you're listening to the podcast. Our last podcast did great on YouTube, so just continue the work, guys.
And we posted a poll on TikTok, right? Mm-hmm. Of who you think wins the chambers.
And we're going to post a poll to Spotify who's going to win the men's chamber as well. Make sure you let us know who you think is going to win. But yeah, just, guys, I want to thank you guys enough. Continue to like, subscribe, follow us. All of our social medias on Instagram, TikTok, X. That's where you can follow us. But all right.
Yeah. And we'll see if we wanted to do something for the chamber, but now there's a little wrench in the works there, so we'll see if we might still do something for chamber. It just may not be to the extent of what we originally had planned.
Right. Exactly.
But still keep an eye out for that. And in case we don't see you until then, we'll see you on the next episode.
See ya.